So you finally got a response for that job interview that you so desire. How do you nail the job interview? Well, today I'm about to discuss 5 key tactics on how to nail your job interview. Hello, my name is Andrea and welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're recurring, welcome back to my channel. Our first tactic that I will discuss is your smell. It is extremely important for you to walk through the room before your cologne or whatever scent that you haven't walked through your room. Actually, in a job interview, it is preferable not to go in with a smell. It is preferable to go in without using that cologne or that overly over-scented lotion, because oftentimes our body chemistry reacts differently with different cologne or different lotion, and oftentimes we're not aware of how we smell. Sometimes we're so immune to the smell that we actually not aware how overwhelming that smell is. So for a job interview, it is preferable to go in without any type of cologne. Let you walk through the room before your cologne walk through. Have you ever walked down the street and you smell someone before you see them, or you ever in a packed public transportation where you smell, and sometimes that smell can be so overwhelming that you can't even concentrate? That's not what you want for the job interviewers. You want the opposite effect. You want the job interviewer to be able to focus on you without any type of distraction. A smell can be a distraction. Now you might be saying, you're on Zoom, I don't have to worry about the smell, and that is true. However, let your background replace that smell. Pay the same attention to your background as you would for your smell. For example, as beautiful as I might think my background is, with the love and the home is where the happiest memory is, that is not acceptable in a job interview. You want your background to be neutral, and you want your background to have zero distraction, where the interviewer cannot see anything but you, where they will be focused on just you. I was actually on a Zoom meeting where it was not an interview, but the person in the background that was actually giving the talk was in his bedroom. All I could focus on was his beautiful bedroom, but all I could focus on was his bedroom. All I could focus was the sheets and the pillows that he have in the bedroom. Do not let that happen to you during your interview, on a Zoom interview. You give your interviewer zero distraction. Let that focus be on you and just you. Have your background neutral. If you have anything that stand out in the background, take it down. If you're in an interview or on a Zoom and you have, for example, the devil on your wall, that will not be a reflection, because unfortunately first impression does count. What people see is what they perceive you to be. So regardless of what that sign might be, that's what they'll focus on, and unfortunately that's what they will see you as. So have zero distraction in your background. The second thing that we will focus on is your dressing. It is actually preferable to go into a job interview in a neutral color rather than a vibrant color. For example, what do I mean by neutral? Your neutral is your black, your navy, your dark navy, and as boring as it might be, your khakis, your blues. For ladies, these same rules apply. For guys, the same rule apply with slacks and shirts. It is preferable to be underdressed as far as color is concerned than to be overdressed with vibrant colors. For example, your neons, your greens, your pinks. Again, you want to give your interviewer zero distraction. The only thing that you want your interviewer to focus on is you, your posture, your face, and what is coming out of your mouth. That way they will have zero distraction, but to focus just on you. Be careful, pay close attention to the colors that you wear. You want to go neutral in your colors. Also, most of the time, a lot of people just focus on their dressing and completely ignored their shoes. Your shoes says a lot about you. A dirty shoes or a sloppy shoes, a dirty shoes or a shoes that need repairing, or a sloppy looking shoes does say a lot about the person. It tells how well you take care of yourself. It tells how much interest you have in yourself, and unfortunately that will relate. Unfortunately, your shoes tells a lot about a person, and with a sloppy shoes or a dirty shoes says a lot about you, and that's what the interviewer will see. So pay close attention, not just to your dressing, because a lot of us ignore our shoes. We just focus. Your interviewer will be looking at you from head to toe. Make no mistake. The next thing that you will be paying attention to during your job interview is your posture. It is extremely important during a job interview, while you're being interviewed, to make sure that you're sitting upright, and to also make sure that you're looking directly at the interviewer, or in some cases you have more than one interview, so you'll rotate between both interviews. Actually, you will actually look at the interview that is actually asking you the question at the time. However, when you're answering, do not just stare at that one job interview. If it's two, make sure you rotate between both whenever you're answering the question, because both of them, even though one is asking you the question, both of them is interested in hearing what you have to say. So if you have John and you have Paul interviewing, John asks you the question, do not just stare at John and answer the question. You will go rotate to John and Paul while you're answering the question. Also, during a job interview, be careful not to stare. There's a difference between staring, and also there's a difference between looking. Make sure you don't stare at the job interview. Also, during a job interview, make sure that whatever you do, you answer your questions accordingly. Do not keep rambling on about a question that they ask, because oftentimes when you answer too much, you share too much. So pay close attention to the question that's been asked and ask accordingly. You can answer more in depth if it's something that is extremely relevant and something that will impress your job interview. But be careful again to go on and on, because again, when you go on and on, you will answer much more than what the interviewer asks, and sometimes it can weigh in the negative direction. The next thing that we'll focus on is to study the company that you're going for the job interview for. It is extremely vital to know something about the company, not just the company, but also know something about the position that you're going for. For example, if you're going for accounting, even though you will be trained on the job, if the interviewer asks you the basic question, what is a liability, and you can't answer that, which is a basic thing about accounting, that will not actually weigh towards you getting the job. It is important not just to study the company, but also to study the position that you're going for. For example, if you're going for a job interview, let's say at Burger King, you may say something like, I like your Impossible Burger that came out in 2020. I'm just giving numbers. I don't know when the Impossible Burger came out. But by you saying that you like the Impossible Burger actually show that you looked at the cover page for Burger King. By you saying that you like the Impossible Burger that came out in 2022 shows that you actually opened the page and looked into the cover of Burger King. It is very, very impressive when you can ask a question or say something about the company that will actually impress the interviewer, because it's like a compliment. It's like you're paying a compliment to the company. Whenever you pay a compliment to the company, you're paying a compliment to the interviewer, because most interviewer that interviews you, they are very proud of the company that they work for, which is why they want to bring on you and other people to do the same, to be proud and to love the company that you work for. So don't assume because you're paying, don't underestimate what a compliment can do. Don't underestimate about knowing just don't underestimate about knowing some facts about the company that you could possibly relate to the interview. It's like, who does not like a compliment? You walk down the street, you're going for your job interview, someone said, oh, you look great. You're going to feel more positive, right? You're going to be extremely positive and you're going to be more confident. Well, it's the same thing when you're doing your job interview. Whenever you say something positive about the company, whenever you do a little bit of research to know something about the company and to say XYZ about the company, you will not just impress the interviewers, but you will also pay both the interviewers and the company a compliment, which can weigh greatly towards you, because most people do not study the company. They also do not study the position that they're going for. Let you be above the rest with that just key research. And you don't have to do in-depth research about the company. It could take you just 30 minutes just to know something. You don't need to ask 10 questions. Just one key question with possible absolute time and date is just enough to nail your job interview and to impress your interviewers. The next thing that you'll do, this should have been done at the very beginning. Make sure, whatever you do, make sure that you show up not on time, but early. If you show up on time at a job interview, you are late. If your job interview is at 2 p.m. and you show up at 2 p.m., you are late. Please bear in mind that when you check in with the reception at the time that you checked in, most of the time that time will be relayed back to the person that is interviewing you. If your job interview is at 2 p.m., make sure you show up in the office or in the lobby at least 15 minutes early. It is also preferable to show up 30 minutes early in the building, because who is not nervous whenever you're going for a job interview? Regardless how versed you are about the company or your position, you have someone that will be grilling you, that will be looking at you from inside out, or at least that's how you feel. So you will be nervous. So by you showing up early to actually take in your surrounding, that will actually calm you down a bit, and that will actually give you a sigh of relief. So make sure that you show up not early, but at least 15 to 30 minutes early to the job interview. And also be very careful how you approach the receptionist or the security guard. Oftentimes, those people can also relay information about you and your approach to your interviewers. Make it a point of duty to always say hello. Let the first thing that comes out of your mouth whenever you're greeting someone is hello. It's kind of like waking up in the morning. The first thing that you do is walk forward. You don't walk backwards. They say practice makes habit, and by practicing, it becomes a habit. So the first thing you approach someone, hello, my name is Andrea. I'm here for the job interview XYZ with XYZ. Let the first thing that you, regardless whether it's a job interview, whether it's you approaching someone in a store, just make sure that the first thing you do is to say hello. And by you practicing saying hello, it will become the norm. It becomes the new you. So, and that is very impressive, because the interview oftentimes will have people in the lobby or in the area sitting that will be watching you, or possibly ask you questions to see how friendly you are. So again, be very careful of your surrounding, and on a job interview, just assume that everyone is planted there to see how you will react and to see how friendly you are. So in a job interview, pay close attention to your surrounding, and by you showing up early and even speaking to the person next to you, that will also relax you a bit. So in your next job interview, I wish you the best, and I will see you in my next video. Good luck.